Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead.
Go ahead and click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar for today, there is no high impact calendar news scheduled. In the currencies, the strong US dollar has pushed the euro to its lower limits, and in the commodities, it looks as though the metals would like to prepare to resume their uptrends next week. Both of the global indices and equities in focus have plenty of evidence to support the idea of a strong finish for this week and a bullish month ahead. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Having a look at the currencies first, here's the US dollar index. You can see it actually solidly broke through that 96 level yesterday, so encountered resistance, pulled back to the moving averages, then bounced right off that. It's now on the other side of 96 with a bit of an uptrend. Now it's going to have to come back at some point and test this level of support and then decide if it wants to head back up to 97. So even on a bigger scale, of course, that US dollar index not entirely certain of what it wants to do now. Euro, of course, dropped right down towards that 1.1300 support level. If we break below that, we're likely to see a significant move further lower, certainly down towards 1.12. And so this is really where it's sitting at this level of this range and deciding today what it's likely to do, if it's going to break through that or stay where it is and ultimately try and make another run to the upside. So we're still within this range, but there is really a possibility there of that US dollar potentially strengthening. And interesting enough, though, we have a lot of GBP strengthening over the US dollar, and Aussie dollar ultimately will strengthen over the US dollar. So interesting to see how that's going to play out over the coming weeks. GBP is still managing to look pretty good. We've got Brexit issues that will be coming up next week as well. So next week is likely to be a Brexit heavy week in terms of news as well, so be expecting increased volatility there. Nice, happy, healthy trend at the moment, and momentum indicators are looking good as well. So that all looking pretty much set to continue throughout the rest of today. We've got Euro Kiwi. Looks pretty good. It's testing its local support area here. My expectation for now is to see its momentum indicators looking nice and bearish, is to see it's continue to head lower. So I'm very happy with that. And then Aussie dollar, just recapping on this in terms of my longer term expectation, that strong divergence. So looking to see how it reacts against the local levels of support here. But in the future or medium term, the next few weeks, looking to see this starting to turn around. And that's it in terms of currencies for today, actually. And wrapping up in the commodities, wrapping up gold and silver. Actually, these are the weekly candles, and you can just see here looking a little bit undecided in terms of the shape of the color being a little bit bullish, and the momentum of price, so the equilibrium, I beg your pardon, of it is closer to where I've highlighted in this area here. So this is really where I believe price should do it, but gold is wanting to stay close to that level and ultimately break through. Silver itself is also still looking a little bit more bullish. If it does finish with a bullish candle, then we'll break the high of it next week and continue on upwards. So I'd really like to see it head a little bit lower. Nice level of support and resistance area here that it can test, and point of equilibrium. So this area makes a lot more sense from a technical perspective, of course. Palladium, really liking price close to where it is here, so I've just highlighted it in terms of Fibonacci levels. So there is it's between the 302 and the 50% Fibonacci retracement here. The 618 is a little bit further down, but it's also sitting very close to a monthly and a weekly pivot level. So there's a lot of support here close to a round number as well, 1300. This is a good area for it to turn around, but let's see how all the metals fare by the end of the week. Otherwise, this one is quite capable of retracing further down, and then that'll be a weekly retracement right there. So happy for that to do the case. There's no setups just yet, and I'll have to revisit it next week. Just confirming that crude oil is still producing that bearish candle, and so I'll be looking for a break of the low of that next week, unless something significant changes, and there just doesn't appear to be any high impact news scheduled for today currently, and therefore not really expecting much to change. Technically, most of these are likely to follow through. UK crude oil also wanting to stay above that level here, but crude oil itself on the weekly basis there, looking as though it wants to finish bearishly, and then we'll have to see if we break the low of that, again with the metals breaking the high of their bullish weekly candles. Moving on to the global indices, and so this is the Wall Street, the Dow, looking at price retracing, finding a bullish candle, slowly eking up to break these highs here, but looking pretty much likely that it's going to break on through with that. Comparing that to, say, Nasdaq has confirmed that swing low on the daily. It does actually look nice and healthy on that daily time frame, pulled back and continuing now to produce bullish candles. They're getting nice and big. Momentum and average of price, the 50, 20, and 10 in the correct order there, and finding support. Crisp technically, this looks very much set to continue. The UK 100 still producing that bearish weekly candle, so I've been talking a lot about it having to finish relatively strong to change the shape of the weekly candles across the chart. But just comparing it here to say that Germany to the DAX, this one producing quite a strong tail, so actually currently looking quite bullish. And if we finish on a strong candle today, we'll end up then we'll be leaning towards that longer term more bullish outlook, but also showing that on Hong Kong one here actually finishing quite strong. So fresh highs there, confirmed uptrend, and this one actually looking quite bullish. And this one has been relatively bearish. Australia is also looking incredibly bullish on its candle. So for the moment, the market appears to be leaning towards the upside and trying to settle in to start to push higher throughout February. And lastly, for today, looking at those equities in focus and having a look at Amazon. Really like this bullish candle from yesterday's trading. What I'm looking to do is look for a break above the high of Wednesday's candle with my stop loss below the swing low here. That gives me quite a bit of confirmation. It'll have to really produce a confirmed swing low. Plus, I get that additional stop loss protection from the support level as well as the previous swing low. So that's looking really nice for me as a potential long opportunity today. And of course, the fruits of my labor of being patient and waiting for an entry into Netflix have arrived. Really nice bullish candle here. I'm going to be looking for a break of the high of this today and looking to go long on this ideally. So that one actually looking pretty good. Very happy to do that. And the last one, all of these looking really nice and bullish. Very happy with all of them, even the bearish ones here, but just wanting to confirm as well, like Lloyd's Bank. Really like the look of this solid level, this rejection so far, at least of that level of support. Just supporting the idea of this ultimately setting up at a break of the high that's in February, looking like a potential longer term opportunity for me. Shorter term, Netflix looking for my swing trading opportunity to go long today. And I'll obviously be looking to take some profit as I hit my one-to-one targets and so on and so forth, making sure that I'd lock in some profit and protect my stop loss. And on that note, ladies and gents, I want to wish you a wonderful weekend. If it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.